What are pronouns? Pronouns are one of the 9 parts of speech, and here they are in alphabetical order. The one that we're looking at today is pronouns. Here is a definition for pronoun. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. Here is an example. Trevor knows secrets. He was told them by Emily. He is an example of a pronoun, and look, it replaces the noun Trevor. Them is also an example of a pronoun, and it replaces the noun secrets. Here is another example. In Spain, apples are amazing. They look like cartoon apples. They is an example of a pronoun, and it replaces the noun apples. Okay, so we're starting to get the idea. Look at the definition. I just want to change it a little bit. A pronoun is a word that replaces anything functioning as a noun. Let's call back some of those examples and change them a little bit. Let's make them a little bit more realistic. My best friend Trevor was told some business secrets. He was told them by Emily. He is our pronoun, and it replaces the noun phrase my best friend Trevor. Them is also a pronoun, and it replaces the noun phrase some business secrets. Let's look at our other example. In Spain, the apples are amazing. They look like cartoon apples. So they is our pronoun, and it replaces the noun phrase the apples. So a pronoun is a word that replaces a noun, but actually it's a word that replaces anything functioning as a noun. And that can be a single word noun, as in our first examples, a noun phrase like these, a noun clause, or even another pronoun. Anything functioning as a noun can be replaced by a pronoun. And the thing being replaced has a special name. So for every pronoun there is an antecedent. So wherever there is a pronoun, there is an antecedent, the thing being replaced. Let's look at a real example. This is a quotation by the actress Marilyn Monroe. Give a girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. Well, she is our pronoun, and it replaces the noun phrase a girl. She is the pronoun. If there's a pronoun, there's an antecedent, and the antecedent is a girl. Let's move on. Let's clear this space. All right, all of the pronouns we've seen so far have been personal pronouns. But actually there are 9 types of pronoun. Possessive pronouns, relative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, emphatic pronouns, reflexive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, and interrogative pronouns. And we're going to go through each of these very quickly. Let's start with personal pronouns. Personal pronouns represent people or things. I, you, he, she, it. We, you, they. These are the personal pronouns. The top 3 rows are singular, and these bottom 3 rows are plural. Here is an example. A girl in my class is brilliant at languages. She speaks 6. So she is our personal pronoun, and it replaces a girl in my class. A girl in my class is the antecedent of the personal pronoun she. My cousin, my sister, and my best friend are planning to visit Boston. They are earning money by washing cars. They is our pronoun, and it replaces the noun phrase my cousin, my sister, and my best friend, which is the antecedent of the personal pronoun they. There's something else we have to say. Personal pronouns come in 2 forms. These are the subjective pronouns. but you also get objective pronouns. They are me, you, him, her, it, us, you, and them. Again, the top 3 rows are singular, the bottom 3 rows are plural. When a personal pronoun is the subject of a verb, you use the ones on the left. But when a personal pronoun is not the subject of a verb, you have to use the list on the right. And you can see that some of them change, but some of them don't change, like these ones highlighted in green. Let's look at 2 examples with objective pronouns. The young rascal has spirit. Throw him to the floor. Him is the objective personal pronoun, and the antecedent is the young rascal. The word him is not the subject, therefore we have to use the objective version. Here is another example. Get the facts first, then distort them. Them is an example of an objective personal pronoun. It replaces the noun phrase the facts, which is the antecedent. Them is not the subject of distort. Therefore, we have to use the objective version. Okay, that's enough about personal pronouns. Let's get on to possessive pronouns. The possessive pronouns are mine, yours, his, hers, ours, and theirs. Possessive pronouns replace nouns and show possession. Look at this picture. It's not yours, said the fisherman. It's mine now, said the seagull. So, this possessive pronoun replaces the noun fish and shows possession. It's not your fish. It's my fish now. So you can see how the word replaces the noun fish and shows possession. Okay, that's all we're going to say about possessive pronouns. Number 3, relative pronouns. Examples are that, which, who, whom, and whose. A relative pronoun introduces a clause that describes a noun. Here is an example. The man who stole your bike has been caught. So this is our relative pronoun. This is our noun that's been described, the man. And this text in the red box is called an adjective clause. And notice that it's headed by a relative pronoun. That's one of the traits of an adjective clause, also called a relative clause. Let's look at another example. The relative pronoun is which. The noun being described is his car. This is our adjective clause. So, a relative pronoun introduces a clause that describes a noun. You can see how this works. Think back to the definition of pronoun. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun. Sometimes that definition is quite hard to shoehorn in. But if you look at the adjective clause in the top example, you can see that the word who represents the man. That's what makes it a pronoun. And in the second one, the word which represents the car in the clause. And that's what makes it a pronoun. Okay. There's one more thing to say about relative pronouns. Look at this example. This clause identifies the man who stole your bike. That tells us which man we're talking about. Notice that there are no commas. Now look at this example. The clause just gives us more information about his car. It doesn't identify his car. That has already been identified. So it's just additional information. Notice that there are commas. This is a key point for relative pronouns. If the relative pronoun heads a clause that defines the noun, no commas. If it heads a clause that's just additional information, use commas. Okay, there's more about that on the website. Let's move on. Number 4, demonstrative pronouns. Examples: This, that, these, and those. Demonstrative pronouns refer to things previously mentioned or to things in the speaker's surroundings. So, this is the speaker. She might say, "This is my husband." So the antecedent is something in the speaker's surroundings, not necessarily something in the sentence. The word "this" tells us that the antecedent is near and singular. Let's look at another example. "That is my mother." This time, the demonstrative pronoun tells us that it's something far and singular. Let's look at another example. "These are my children." These tells us that the antecedent is near and plural. "Those are my friends." This time, the pronoun tells us that the antecedent is far and plural. Okay, this will make more sense if we put them up in a grid. So a demonstrative pronoun tells us whether something is near, far, singular, or plural. So this, near and singular. These, near and plural. That, far and singular. Those, far and plural. The last thing to say is that it's not always about distance. Demonstrative pronouns can also tell us whether things are near or far in time too. Okay, let's get on. Number 5. Reciprocal pronouns. Examples: each other and one another. A reciprocal pronoun expresses a mutual action or relationship. So, mutual love. My dog and cat love each other. So this is the reciprocal pronoun. Here is another example. Mutual support. They all support one another. One another is the reciprocal pronoun. In the first example, my dog and cat is the antecedent, and in the second example, they is the antecedent. Okay, that's all we're going to say about reciprocal pronouns. Next, emphatic pronouns. An emphatic pronoun is paired with another noun to emphasize it. John can do it himself. So look, himself is the emphatic pronoun and it emphasizes John. Women must create the world they want themselves. Themselves is the emphatic pronoun and it emphasizes women. Okay. Next, reflexive pronouns. A reflexive pronoun is paired with another noun to show it is acting on itself. My new watch corrects itself. This is the reflexive pronoun, and it reflects back on my new watch. So my new watch is doing something to itself. Peter and I checked ourselves for lice. Ourselves is the reflexive pronoun. It reflects back on its antecedent, Peter and I. Notice that the emphatic pronouns and the reflexive pronouns are the same, but they have different roles. The emphatic pronouns emphasize, the reflexive pronouns reflect back on, but they are the same words. Let's get rid of that. Number 8, indefinite pronouns. An indefinite pronoun refers to a person or thing without being specific. I have eaten everything in the fridge. Everything is our indefinite pronoun. We don't know what it is, we just know it's everything. I need to find something. We don't know what specifically, but it represents something. Anything would be okay. We don't know what it is specifically, but it's something. I have nothing for breakfast. Nothing is also an indefinite pronoun. Okay, that's enough about indefinite pronouns. There are lots of them. And finally, we have interrogative pronouns. An interrogative pronoun is used to ask a question. Who won yesterday? This is our interrogative pronoun. What do you mean? What is our interrogative pronoun? Now, the last thing to say about interrogative pronouns is they don't always feature in direct questions. They can also feature in indirect questions. I want to know what this is. That is not a question, it is a statement, but it's still an interrogative pronoun. The interrogative pronoun is used in an indirect question. Okay, that's all 9 types of pronoun covered. Personal pronouns, possessive pronouns, relative pronouns, demonstrative pronouns, reciprocal pronouns, emphatic pronouns, reflexive pronouns, indefinite pronouns, and interrogative pronouns. But I'm not going to leave you with that slide. I want to leave you with this idea. Look at this example. Hedgehogs. Why can't they just share the hedge? So they is our pronoun, and it replaces the noun hedgehogs. They is a pronoun, hedgehogs is the antecedent. Remember, if there is a pronoun, somewhere there will be an antecedent. The antecedent might not be in the same sentence. It might not be in the previous sentence. It might not be in the text at all. Remember, it can be something known to the speaker and the listener. Let's remind ourselves with a few more examples. Women must create the world they want themselves. Now, themselves, remember, is the emphatic pronoun, and its antecedent is women. The man who stole your bike has been caught. Who is our relative pronoun, and its antecedent is the man. These are out of date. Well, these is our demonstrative pronoun, and it replaces, well, something in the speaker's environment, nothing in the text. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about the different types of pronoun. A pronoun is a word that replaces a noun or something functioning as a noun. That's all. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out some of our other videos on grammarmonster.com.